Can RTT work with any issue? I've seen some amazing transformations using RTT over the last few years. People with anxiety issues becoming amazing, confident public speakers. People suffering from skin conditions for years and years, suddenly healing. People with chronic health conditions finally taking their lives back and taking control. But can it really heal any issue? That's what we're going to unwrap today. In case you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Elise and I'm an RTT therapist. And I've been running my practice now for about 3.5 years. And during that time, I've seen some amazing transformations in people using RTT. But what is RTT? So RTT combines elements of mindfulness, CBT, NLP to create this super powerful turbocharged modality which changes lives. Reason that I love it is, unlike other modalities, it goes to the root cause of the issues that are holding people back in life. And that really gives them the power and understanding to set themselves free from it. Right now, the RTT school has trained over 17,000 therapists who've helped hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions worldwide, to live their very best lives by moving past their problems and issues. RTT can be used to address a range of issues, from fears and phobias to anxiety and depression, and even physical health conditions. But how does it work? So basically, it goes to the root cause of someone's issue, finds out why it came into their life, which really does give them the understanding on how to set themselves free from it. So once we know why that issue has come into our lives, we then reframe it, we understand it, we acknowledge it. And in the final part of the session, what we do is we rewire people's minds for success. So with better habits of thought, better habits of action, better beliefs that are going to help you move forward in your life. The first thing to say is that any therapist working with clients, whether it's an RTT therapist or if you're working in another modality, is to know your scope of practice. So think about the clients that you're working with or that are coming to you, and think about the issues that they're dealing with. Do you have experience or knowledge of those issues? Do you have personal experience? Personal experience really helps you to understand. Think about how comfortable you feel doing a session. Would you be comfortable running a session with them? Or is it something that you feel a little bit anxious about and maybe a little bit uncertain of? If it is, don't work with someone. You're there to be a trusted source. And remember that physical health conditions and certain other health conditions, they've also got complex layers. So it might not be a simple process of one session and you're going to help them immediately. It might take longer over that space of time. But having that understanding really is key. So if you're working with someone and maybe you don't have that knowledge and that background, even doing research beforehand to find out, particularly around health conditions, can be really helpful and help you to set your client up for success. It's also worth noting that many RTT therapists specialize or niche in areas that they have personal experience in. For example, with me, I now specialize in working with people with anxiety and chronic health conditions because I've suffered from both and I understand the complexities that both bring into your life and the challenges that you face. So I can empathize with clients when they come to me and speak to me about those issues. But when I first started out and I was still building my confidence as a therapist, I mainly focused on areas such as confidence and self-esteem boosting, fears and phobias, things that I felt comfortable with. But then over time, as my confidence grew as a therapist, I started to look at areas where I could help people more. So I started working with people who were struggling with anxiety because I had that personal experience. And then over time, I started to work with a lot of people with chronic health conditions, mainly around their symptoms initially, because I'd kind of met them in support groups, for example, that I'd been part of when I was struggling myself. But then over time, as I worked more and more with them, I began to develop my own kind of techniques and my own setup for working with people with health conditions to help them get well too. And I established my own 3-stage process. So be aware that you're always learning. You learn from your clients, but just take your time. Stay with what you're comfortable with and work up to that. And never work with anything or anyone who makes you feel uncomfortable. While RTT is really effective for a wide range of issues, there are certain areas that we move away from and we tend not to work with because it's not recommended that you use hypnosis with the following conditions. So that's epilepsy, psychosis, and schizophrenia. And one of the main reasons that we don't work with people with psychosis or schizophrenia is sometimes when we're doing the part of the session where we take them back to scenes, they may not be able to distinguish whether that's happening in the moment now or whether they're reviewing it, because we always ask you to review scenes as an observer. It can be confusing and it can actually exacerbate these symptoms. So we advise people not to work with those people. And before a session, always ask a client whether they are under any medical supervision or whether they are taking any medication. Still, in 95% of all cases, RTT can be the perfect fit. And all of the clients that come to me say it's one of the best decisions they've ever made because it has completely helped them transform their lives. So today we talked about just how powerful RTT is and how it can help people overcome their issues, and also some of the boundaries. So if you're thinking that you might like to become an RTT therapist yourself, if you have a passion for helping people, click the link in the description to find out more. But if you have any doubts or questions, I'd recommend that you just book a discovery call so that you can find out whether RTT is the right fit for you. Or if you'd like to hear more amazing tales of transformation, click here. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.